Hey, what's going on, crypto people? It is the Crypto Siege with another day in the life and the crazy life that is the digital asset space. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is Friday. It's Friday. And it's July 1st. Holy moly. 10:45. I'm starting this recording at 10:45 a.m. Central Time from Mexico. We get ready to head out to do some more sightseeing on an island that I cannot pronounce the name of this island, but we're gonna head out there. Me and Miss Crypto Seas and little Miss Crypto Seas. Hope everyone is doing really, really well. Interesting stuff coming from the Celsius Network camp. They actually put out a Medium article. Very, very excited. I am very, very excited about the Bank to the Future proposal because recovery plan, because of Simon Dixon's experience and recovering platforms like Kraken after a hack and Bitfinex after the mess that happened over there. And I believe it was 1 or 2 hacks. So yeah, so very, very excited about that possibility to work. And obviously Celsius Network is doing their own things. But just understand that Simon Dixon from Bank to the Future has a 5% shareholder, 5% or more over there, and they may look to kind of force a meeting, if you will, force a board meeting because as shareholders, 5%, I guess, I don't know how much that is. It's a lot, it's not. But they believe they may be able to, quote unquote, force a shareholder meeting, a board meeting, with the board members. So we'll see how it goes. I do like the proposals. They do make sense. And I'm going to cover what Celsius Network put out. Apparently they put it out late last night. I'm going to go more into detail about the recovery plan. There's some XRP news. It's great to see what's going on with Zago. Shout out to Crypto Eddie. That's great to see that XRP is going to be used as a bridge currency between stable coins on the Zago platform. So that is what Zago.io will be doing. That is absolutely outstanding. Great to hear about the uptick in XRP new wallet addresses. That obviously is very, very exciting to hear for sure. But I know a lot of people have their assets on Celsius. So we're going to cover what looks like to me a lot of effort being put forth to move them from being illiquid to liquid. And Simon Dixon from Bank to the Future, again, is a private investment firm. They have a securities platform. They are very experienced and successful recovery plans, okay? And boy, oh boy, did the Bitfinex people make out. The Bitfinex people made out big from that recovery plan. That was crazy, absolutely crazy. So I'm gonna share that his intentions are really, really good. And yeah, so in either case, the depositors are first. And this is what the emphasis is going to be around the depositors first. And you'll see from Celsius, but certainly from Simon Dixon and Bank to the Future, that is going to be the priority. So and you'll also, I'm telling you, watch that interview with Rob from Digital Asset News. Simon Dixon is not a fan of TradFi and what they're trying to do, whether it be with Goldman's or someone else. Is absolutely just want to rip apart their biggest competitor in terms from crypto. Their biggest competitor in terms of crypto companies was Celsius Network, period. In the discussion, biggest competitor was Celsius Network. Yeah, without question, in terms of borrowing and lending, in terms of people, looking to earn yield and all that stuff, it was Celsius for sure. And they're trying to rip it apart without question with these quote unquote predatory offerings. All right, guys. So listen, this is your XRP Ripple daily news. And around 0 to 10 minutes, look at the cryptocurrency total cryptocurrency market cap, 916 billion. Goodness gracious, that's not a great look. I'm gonna refresh here from this earlier this morning when I took a look at it. It's taken forever. But 19,000 for Bitcoin, that's just not a great number. Not a great number. Well, it looks like it's not going to refresh. The total crypto, the Bitcoin dominance, I should say. Well, there it is. Yeah, so it's 906 billion now. 906 billion. The Bitcoin dominance is at 40.9%. Bitcoin is at $19,384. Again, Ethereum is at $1,059. Again, and look at XRP at 31.3 cents. Yep, you got it. Again, we're down. The total cryptocurrency market cap is down from 3 trillion to what does that say? $906 billion, double figure reds. Shout out to the swing traders. They're living large. The ones that know what they are doing, they are living freaking large right now. Living large. So double figure reds everywhere that you go, guys. Every freaking way that you go. Let me run through this as quick as I possibly can. So when we want to get into the Celsius Network news, shout out to the XRP Ledger Association. The official XRP Ledger Association has been formed in order to maintain standards, educate, and protect investors. The official website will be live next week, where projects can apply to be verified. Members of the XRPL or projects can apply to be verified members of the XRP Ledger Association. What's going on here? Jungle Inc. All right. Yeah. So the shorts bragging about shorting the sell tokens, not a good look. Short seller bragging about shorting sell from $1.08 and making $300,000. For anyone wondering why the price of sell went from $1.08 to 57 cents, short sellers like this guy borrowed 2 million sell and dumped it into the market, causing the sell price to crash. That is, my friends, a problem. Bill, the attorney, says, with all due respect, that is nonsense. Ripple talked about leaving the U.S. while it was being investigated before the lawsuit began. Threats to leave the USA are for a political audience. Wartime propaganda against the SEC. Ripple is putting on staff. Coinbase is putting off staff. This is response to Tom Lavero, who is, I believe, a board member at Coinbase. He had an interesting thread. I saw some YouTubers sharing that thread, but I don't trust Coinbase in any way, shape, form, or fashion when it comes to XRP or Ripple. This is an interesting thing here. I wanted to cover this. Is it the SEC's plan to wait until Jed sells all his XRP before this case is over? Who is Jed selling to? The Fed? Lots of questions Gary needs to answer, but our corrupt politicians won't ask. And Gary will never do what's right, ever. Again, Simon Dixon, Bank to the Future, watched that interview. I'm telling you, he said that the exchange that Jed McCaleb started and sold and wound up missing between the sale and the actual acquisition, ended up missing 50,000 Bitcoin. Between the agreement to sell it and it reaching the new seller, reaching the new buyer rather, 50,000 Bitcoin gone. No investigation into what happened to that. Jed's running around selling XRP whenever he can. No SEC, no government agency saying anything about it. Congress won't mention a peep about it. Who is Jed selling to? I ask you. That's very, very interesting. So the SEC, again, I keep doing that. I don't know why. The SEC, again, is trying to stretch the Howey test there and keep changing the wording. Remember when the wording of the securities used to say the solely purpose of, trying to increase the price of it. They keep changing the wording on that. They keep changing the wording. And I think it's important to understand why it is. Why does they keep changing that wording? I think it's very, very interesting. J.W. Vera said, you could say the SEC's threat to over-apply Howey to all crypto products that have attributes of currency and commodity is a major question about which there is a doctrine. The Supreme Court of the United States handed down an opinion about that today, and get ready for it. So interesting stuff coming from the Supreme Court. David Schwartz is excited to announce the release of CLIO 1.0, so Clio 1.0, which significantly improves the scalability of access to the XRP ledger data. It doesn't matter how quickly and cheaply the ledger can reach finality if you can't support massive numbers of queries from wallets, exchanges, and explorers. And this is why I think the uptick in the XRPL addresses, because this is basically saying, sounds like to me, that they have significant, with this Clio 1.0, significantly improved the scalability of the ledger. I mean, I'm not that smart, but that's what it seems like to me. RippleX says introducing Clio version 1. It's a ledger API server built to enhance throughput for API requests, reduce the memory usage, lower storage overhead, and enable easier horizontal scaling. Here's the news about the ledger addresses going up. XRP is holding up better than most altcoins. No, is that it? Yeah. This is from Sentiment. XRP is holding up better than most altcoins on a Thursday slide day. A couple of days ago, the XRP network exploded with unique addresses interacting on the network, exceeding 200,000 for the first time since February of 2020. This is worth watching. I didn't know Sentiment had an app, app.sentiment.net, but there it is. Yeah, a couple of people, more Congress people. I told you these Congress people are not happy with Chair Gensler because he hoodwinked them in the process of trying to get him, giving him the blessing that he hoodwinked them big time. Senator Toomey says the SEC under Chair Gensler has imposed enormous costs on investors with no legitimate rationale. Their blanket rejection of numerous Bitcoin spot ETFs, despite the SEC's prior approval of Bitcoin's future ETFs, demonstrates how this SEC has arbitrarily chosen to deny investors access to financial products. And by the way, the Bitcoin ETF is a crypto financial product. So those of you out there who want to throw shade at Celsius Network, this is what you're going to get as a result of it. It's going to be the SEC turning over crypto to Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan. And it will be just a matter of time before one of these set of proposals will be for regulated entities to custody your crypto. Don't believe it. It's still true. So throw shade on Celsius Network if you want to. This is what's going to happen. Send it to me. It demonstrates how this SEC has arbitrarily chosen to deny investors access to financial products. Now, once these, once Goldman's and the JP Morgans are positioned to do all of these crypto financial products, then they'll turn it over to them. Goldman's right now is doing a major predatory trying to take over Celsius Network. Major. For pennies on the dollar. And the next step is to say, hey, hey, Gary, we really think that, these people need to get them stuffs off them ledgers. We can custody them. We got this and that and that. We need to really get that kind of in the deal there. I'm telling you, if you think your crypto is just safe because it's hanging out on a ledger, that's what they used to say about the gold that you held. Remember that? I got it. It's my gold. Remember that? I'm pleased that the SEC's decision, says Senator Pat Toomey, will now be subject to court review and hope the courts decides more Americans should have access to these new investment options. It's good to see that some of the Congress people are aware of what they're trying to, what the SEC that was Gary Gensler, that was ushered to the front of the room by JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs. It's good that certain Congress people are recognize it. The challenge is we don't have enough Congress people recognizing it. That's the challenge. But it is good to see got some lawsuits coming. Grayscale suing them. They're involved in a lawsuit right now with freaking Ripple. Yeah, and Grayscale is not no joke. I can tell you that. And if they begin to point out the real deal, what the SEC is trying to do, Grayscale can shine light on that as well. That again, that can be massive because we need more people in crypto looking out for the average investors. We do not need Gary Gensler trying to protect investors because he's trying to turn this over. So we need more people like Celsius to win, because Celsius is taking up the fight against the banking regulators, okay? All right, so this is interesting. Simon Dixon did a little poll, very interesting. To the Celsius network community, imagine all depositors were made whole. Depositors first. Now I got in parentheses, don't interpret that as an opinion on whether that will happen or not. And you were treated identically under each option. Which would you prefer? Right now, 45% says new team and brand takeover. I don't want that. I would definitely rather have Celsius, right? Because Bitfinex, they didn't rebrand. Bitfinex did not rebrand. They stayed at Bitfinex. And even with that 36% haircut that the people were willing to take to recover, you know, to fully recover, hopefully to get 75%. They ended up getting, you know, they were given 3 options. And I like the fact that they were given 3 options. And so the individual person, depending upon their circumstance, could choose it. And I love that they gave that. That's what I'm hoping will happen with Celsius Network. You know, push come to shove, if Alex and then the team doesn't come up with something else. The recovery plan I like is 3 options. Let me choose what I'd like to do going forward. Me personally, I voted Celsius and team return. I don't think it's I don't think a new team and brand would work well. Although I think that if Simon Dixon was involved and his team at Bank to the Future were involved with it, I would not be unhappy with that. For sure. And I just think that obviously they got themselves, Celsius got themselves in some positions in DeFi that the market made them very vulnerable. The market made them vulnerable. So I think that's just a mistake and a lesson learned. And I think that they will learn that lesson for sure. But that's just my 2 cents on that. So I voted for Celsius and team return. But that's just a little survey. Just a little survey. Bill, the attorney, says, listen, the judge is not taking too long. The hearing on the attorney-client privilege objection was less than 4 weeks ago. I just received an interlocutory judgment after my client waited 18 months. The Ripple case is galloping by. All right, here's from Celsius Network. Operating with the Italian community and all clients in mind, we continue to take steps to preserve and protect assets and explore the options available to us. Our latest blog is here. It doesn't really say much, but at least it'll satisfy those who want to throw shade on no information from Celsius. Across Celsius today, we are focused on working as quickly as we can to stabilize liquidity and operations in order to be positioned to share more information with the community. Let me read it again. Across Celsius today, we are focused on working as quickly as we can to stabilize liquidity and operations in order to be positioned to share more information with the community, shoring up and stabilizing liquidity before they can share more information with the community. I think that's a good plan. We are operating with the entire community and all clients in mind, not just the biggest. As we work through these challenging times, we continue to take important steps to preserve or protect assets and explore options available to us. These options include pursuing strategic transactions as well as a restructuring of our liabilities, among other avenues. These exhaustive explorations are complex and they take time, but we want the community to know that our teams are working with experts from many different disciplines. Our relationship with the community and our clients has been a source of pride for all team members of Celsius, and we will continue to share information with our customers as and when it becomes appropriate. Another representative, another congressperson shouting out at Gary Gensler. I hope Gary Gensler says Representative Bill Huizenga. I hope Gary Gensler is paying close attention to today's Supreme Court of the United States decision regarding the EPA. Bureaucrats across DC are exceeding the authority given to them by Congress. The SEC should rescind their climate proposal and focus on protecting investors and promoting capital formation. Gary Gensler just keeps getting more and more shade. Here's the real truth. Attorney Jeremy Hogan understands the real truth about what's going on in crypto. It's good to see that he has recognized that the second grade desk is just too small for him to fit in. A company that paid the SEC $100 million in fees is being sold for $25 million allegedly. Zach Prince of Zach, whatever his name is, from BlockFi says that amount is not correct. Let that be a lesson to those who succumb to SEC extortion racket. And Jeremy Hogan did a Tony Soprano quote here. He says, I won't pay. I know too much about extortion. Which to me is hilarious. The World Plan C says, I really strongly support any innovative solution that Simon Dixon proposes for Celsius. His interests are aligned with the community's shareholder and large depositor. He has the most experience and best reputation and connection for a positive outcome. And I really do, because he has the experience, and I think that's important. Again, Bitfinet successful, Kraken successful. Like look, why did Kraken have to be recovered? Why did Bitfinex had to be recovered? Because these type of things happen. But no one remembers Bitfinex. No one remembers the recovery plan. No one remembers. Everybody looks like Kraken, like, oh, cool. They don't crack. They don't. U.S. dude, major investor in some other stuff as well. Kraken CEO. They didn't know he had a recovery plan. This is not unusual. No one's throwing shade on Kraken because they had a recovery plan or got themselves in a position where they needed one. It doesn't even matter if it's a hack or not, right? The bottom line is a recovery plan had to be done. One could argue is, well, why weren't you secure enough? There's our funds. You should have put more money in securing so that we don't get hacked. You could make that same argument. There's always going to, when people lose their funds, they're going to throw blame on the person that lost their funds. Right? Why weren't you secure enough? You should have put, instead of doing this, instead of making the site so pretty and looking so good and fast withdrawals and fast deposits, you should have secured it up more so it didn't get hacked. That's the thing that they were probably saying with Kraken. And they were probably saying with freaking Bitfinex. Oh my goodness. Right? Well, those bad companies and bad people and scammers. Unbelievable. Anyway, so Bank to the Future, success recovery for both of those. And I'm telling you, the Bitfinex people made out massively from being patient and taking a recovery plan as opposed to giving up and giving into Goldman Sachs and bankruptcies from TradeFi, who don't want the crypto space to win. All right, guys, I'm going to end this video. This wraps up my XRP Ripple Daily News in around 0 to 10 minutes. I'm going to end this video like I do all of my videos and remind you guys of this.
Old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. They would rather that we remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same playground that they play in, where we allow our money to work for us. This is our chance to win, guys. The digital asset space is our chance to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating, or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know, that the battle for you has already been fought, and the victory is yours. Go get it.